What is the weirdest NSFW fact you know? Iceland has a penis museum with specimens from multiple species. There has been at least one instance of a human-dolphin relationship where the human accused the dolphin of seducing them. Brazil nuts are sexually transmissible. As in, if a man eats Brazil nuts and then ejaculates into a woman who is allergic to Brazil nuts, she will have an allergic reaction. Humans are one of the few mammals without a penis bone. Bedbugs don't have vaginas. They stab each other with hypodermic needle dongs. Also, the male bedbugs pay each other with their needle DCKS because there's a chance that if the victim then needles a female, he'll impregnate her with the rapist's sperm instead of his own. Rats are really gay. They do sex stuff with each other all the time, but they're only interested in the opposite sex when the females go into heat. Bats are also super gay. Like 90% of male bats prefer other males. Some spiders do BDSM. The tiny male ties up the huge female so he has a chance to run away after they mate. The Romans had a plant that was an effective contraceptive but then ducked it out of existence. Governor Ratcliffe of Pocahontas fame was flayed alive by the Powhatan using mussel shells. They skinned his entire body, saving his face for last. Then he was burned at the stake. The color of the wind just turned red. A hamster has about as much blood as an erection. Ducks have fake decoy vaginas due to the sheer number of duck rapists. Edit. The longest lasting orgasm in mammals is from the domestic pig. It lasts on average for 30 minutes. But can last up to 90 minutes. Yoerwefe is a Lucy KYW Oman. The inside of your mouth is made from the same skin cells as the inside of a vagina. And now you are tying your cheek. Discharge from vaginas can be so acidic it can actually leave bleach stains in underwear. Not just can. It has sauce. When the Egyptians conquered what is now Libya, they took 13,000 plus foreskins of the defeated enemy as trophies. I'm making a couch. You can get a boner after you die. Die hard. If you have the chills but your nuts are hanging low, you have a fever. A sperm has 37.5 megabytes of DNA info. So one ejaculation transfers 15. Hard drive. Olympic Village during the games is basically a massive duck fest. In 2000, the athletes were provided with a total of 70,000 condoms and they had to order an emergency shipment of more because they ran out. Just how the Greeks designed it. Cats' penises are weird. They're short and spiky. The explanation for the spikes. Female cats don't ovulate unless they're stimulated by the spikes. This is called induced ovulation. With every thrust of the penis, female cats produce an egg. Because of this, there can be different fathers in the same litter. IDK about you. A duck can change his penis size, making it bigger to compete with other males. Can confirm. Also, duck DCKS are shaped like corkscrews. Napoleon's penis was removed by the doctor doing the autopsy and preserved. It's been sold and resold to many buyers. It was purchased by a professor of urology at Columbia University in the 70s. And passed on to his daughter when he died about 15 years ago. She is the current owner. The world record for longest distance ejaculated is 18 feet. 5'm. Horst Schultz. A silverback gorilla has a penis the size of your pinky. Someone calculated that based on relative size. King Kong's penis would still fit within a human's vagina. Because of this little detail. There are more countries that persecute homosexuality than bestiality. Semen exits the body at roughly 27 miles per hour. Noom. Running is an excellent laxative. This is why I wake up an hour early, have coffee, and try and get a poop in before I run. Also, my running route doesn't go further than a half mile from home. Just a path of booty anxiety that weaves back and forth through the neighborhood. There are no incest laws in Rhode Island. So what you're saying is that women ask, what are you doing, bro? Instead of step bro? Peyronie's disease is a condition where scar tissue forms inside the penis, causing it to be bent when the patient has an erection. It must be painful. Edit. Some curve on the schlong is normal. I remember that the images that were shown to us in class had dongs bending and curving at ridiculous angles. Had to drive my 75-year-old dad to and from the procedure to fix this. This was absolutely 8x more awkward than you imagine it to be. Edit. To add that he was in a panic to get the procedure done before flying to Kenya to meet his online girlfriend. Edit 2. Yes, he met her. No, it ended. Yes, it was because she only wanted money. No, he didn't care and has made many similar trips since then. There's a group of flatworms that live on the ocean floor. They are hermaphroditic and can supply sperm to others or give birth themselves if they are fertilized by others. All individuals want to be the one to supply the sperm as it's much less resource intensive than growing your own babies. So they use their sharp penises to penis fence with others to be the first to inject the other with sperm. There's some great penis fencing videos online. Take a look. There's a load of weird and wonderful facts out there on sex competition in animals. Kangaroos have 3 vaginas apparently. You'd have to spin a 6-inch penis, of average width, at about 130,000 revolutions per minute to get it to set ablaze. Learned that in physics class. Edit. Because this blew up and some people seem concerned. This was in a class of 18s and over and the teacher didn't explicitly say he was working this out for a DCK but for a cylindrical object after someone brought up a Reddit post they saw about this from ages ago. It was just a minute of banter in the class. Not the topic of the lesson. If a male tried pregnancy test and tested +V, that could indicate to a testicular cancer. 90% of koalas have chlamydia. Oh duck. Most ancient female Egypt mummies are in worse condition than male mummies. They stored female ones at home for a while until they were a little decay. They feared necrophile embalmers. Gonna listen to Cannibal Corpse now. Hannah Montana was originally titled Alexis Texas until Disney realized that was the same name as a PRN star. Weird NSFW fact. Tickling was once considered an aphrodisiac in the Muscovite palaces and courts for centuries. In fact, both Catherine the Great and Anna Ivanovna were ardent participants. Ticklers sang naughty ballads and told lewd stories whilst tickling their ladies' feet, working their mistresses up into an erotic frenzy with which to meet their husbands or partners. From personal experience I can say this works with overwhelming results. I can attest after being together a few years with my girlfriend, who loves to hate hates to love it, that nothing gets her in the mood faster. Username. Checks out. Dave Matthews Band's tour bus dumped a tank full of 800 pounds of human shit on a tour boat in the Chicago River in 2004. As a woman is about to orgasm, the vagina decreases in size by as much as 30%. This contraction helps to increase the sensitivity felt by the woman as she climaxes into the orgasm. Edit. Contractions also enhance the man's pleasure and keeps any discharged sperm into place for potential fertilization as the vagina grips tighter around the penis. Breast implants turn into a sticky goo during cremation. Crematorium workers need to clean the goo off the bottom of the furnace after her body has been cremated. Mozart wrote pieces called Lick My Ass Right Well and Clean K. 233 and Lick My Ass K. 231. For 6 voices. He also wrote a letter to his cousin. Well, I wish you good night. But first tea in your bed and make it burst. Sleep soundly. My love. Into your mouth your ass you'll shove. When whales nut, they shoot out around 8 gallons of semen. Thank you for that fact, you're welcome. During my mom's pregnancy with me, she was writing an 8-person Buffy the Vampire Slayer orgy fanfic. She warned me that if I was ever caught watching PRN she would make me do a book report on it. Very few things scare me as much as having to read my mom's erotica. Edit to respond to the two main questions. My mom didn't want me watching PRN till I was an adult. And I was never caught, so I never read it or wrote a report. A sheep's vagina is closest to a human's. You. Noted. The average number of butthole spokes in American women is 6. 10 spoke buttholes are the holy grail of butthole spokes. Babe. Can you come in here? I want to check something. Vigorously rubbing the tip of your penis against the palm of your hand can cause you to urinate. This is especially helpful if you need to pee and have an erection. If you put a wad of toilet paper in the toilet before you take a dump, it will greatly reduce splashback. Or you can just gently lower your turds in by hand. That babies scream and cry in the womb, but due to amniotic fluid it's silent, so right now millions of babies are crying and screaming silently in fear with lungs full of amniotic fluid. My parents were swingers back in the 70s. I wish I didn't know that. Whereas now they're swingers in their 70s. Dolphins are dirty rapists. Blowjob is because it used to be called blowjob and got shortened. The lowly barnacle has the largest known penis to body length ratio, up to 8x, in the animal kingdom. People who get methadone prescribed on the NHS have to drink it in front of the pharmacist to ensure that they aren't going to sell it. However, some addicts will immediately go away and vomit up the methadone for resale. Former smack addicts shared this nugget with me. All women's vaginas are self-cleaning. Tentacle hentai has been for over 200 years. Clownfish are sequential hermaphrodites. So Finding Nemo, when the mom died, Merlin's body would produce female organs and he would become the maternal figure. And the first child, Nemo, would take over the paternal role. The reason guys' PSS comes out twisted instead of a smooth stream is because the inside of the penis is rifled. The barrel has spiral grooves to ensure maximum distance and accuracy. I am the sniper. Eating pineapple makes a man's cum taste sweet. Even better if the man refrains from eating beef or red meat. More than half of you will go look at PRN after reading these comments. That's the weirdest one I know. John Kellogg, yes, like the cereal brand, invented cornflakes and granola as the most plain foods he possibly could. Because he believed that sex was unhealthy. He believed foods with sweets and meats drove sexual desire and that this was horrible for the body. Not exactly a sin. Just bad for one's physical being. He fully believed that sex was unhealthy. But still not nearly as bad as masturbation. He never consummated his marriage. His kids were adopted. And his brother went on to patent the cereals with added sugary sweetness and nuts to the granola budumptis, which pissed off John Kellogg to no end. John Kellogg also patented yogurt pint enemas. You'd have a water enema to remove all feces. Eat half a pint of plain, unsweetened yogurt and then the rest would be injected deep into the colon through the anus. You can't orgasm. But you can totally put live cultures into your colon. John Kellogg. Your ballsack has receptors that can actually taste sweet things. If you rush a shave, you can accidentally cut your clit. That shit hurts. Cats have a needle in their DCKS and it only softens at climax. Meaning they are in physical pain when they have sex. The yowling you hear from the female cat is because she is in intense pain. Degloving. It's the result of an accident where all the skin on your hand or arm, etc., comes off like a glove. Grabs popcorn as scrolling through the comments. Coalition bombing in Iraq and Syria has killed at least 310 civilians since August 2014. Most of which have occurred since 2017 after Trump cut the Obama-era due diligence requirements for authorizing air and drone strikes. Directly stimulating a man's prostate gland is a surefire way to turn him into a whining, yelling, moaning man. WHRE. semen can ejaculate at up to 25 miles per hour, which makes it illegal to orgasm in a school zone. You can still get pregnant if you take the pill and antibiotics at the same time. It's not necessarily antibiotics itself that eliminate the pill's effect, but the diarrhea it causes, which prevents the absorption of the pill. That being said, it's not just antibiotics but diarrhea in general, laxatives, food poisoning etc. I only mention antibiotics because it's the most commonly prescribed med. Remember, you might be fertile for that entire cycle or the following as well, because the pill needs to be taken continuously for the effect. P.S. I'm currently studying pharmacology and toxicology. The anus is the only muscle in the human body that can tell the difference between a liquid, a solid and a gas. I mean, your tongue can too. When you say poop, your mouth makes the same movement your butthole does when you poop. That kids come onto this subreddit all the time looking for sex advice and facts in the comments. The ass produces the 3 states of matter. This thread leaves me with more questions than answers. What is the actual number of raccoons that can fit into a human anus? A rampaging aardvark in the workplace can lead to an OSHA violation. Syphilis exists only in lamb's vaginas, as far as researchers have found, and it spread to humans. BC farmers were having sex with them. BC it felt the most similar to a woman, so that's how it spread to humans. A blue whale's DCK is 2 meters long. What is the weirdest NSFW fact you know? Donald Trump bragged about grabbing women by the PSSY in a widely shared video, and half of voting Americans still wanted him to be president. And Biden said that a black person isn't black if they don't vote for him. You can see the pussies of family members of the last 4 Republican presidents on the internet for free. Patty, Reagan, Davis, one of the Bush twins, and of course Melania Trump. Family values. Pee is stored in the balls. The skin on a transgender woman's penis is extremely soft. The slang term for this is the mouthfeel, or if a transgender person takes hormones to help with their transition, the smell of their genitals will change. For example, if a male to female transgender person takes estrogen, her penis will start to smell like a vagina. Hard to notice when she's slapping my face with it, but okay. Historically, washing one's feet was slang for having sex. So in the Bible, when a prostitute washes Jesus's feet with her hair whilst the disciples looked on in discomfort. This makes me want to read the Bible again. If you stand on one of those chairs with little wheels and use a stick to impulse yourself. Dork, in addition to its common meaning, is also a name for a whale's penis. When my wife calls me a dork, I can only say thank you. Raccoons, males especially, like to masturbate. They not only fondle their own penises but will perform oral sex on themselves. There's a video floating around of a sad raccoon with his head tucked in his lap, and everyone thinks he's so cute, but they have no clue he is busy sucking his own penis. Barnacles have the largest penis relative to the size of their body. As they are sessile, they reach their penis out into their neighbor's to duck. They are hermaphroditic, so all their neighbors are fair game. My penis can stretch around my wrist. My wife was not as amused as I was when I asked her, "Hey sweetie, what do you think of my new bracelet?" There was a copper pasta about how to have sex with dolphins. That taught me a lot about something I shouldn't do. Reddit. What is the SZest sex that you ever SZ'd? Disney has huge books filled with pornography because there's a clause in their artists' contracts that states everything they make while employed by Disney, even shit they make in their free time, belongs to Disney. Many artists retaliate against this by drawing the most heinous pornography they can imagine. Former President Lyndon B. Johnson used to brag about the size of his DCK to White House staff, and there is a recorded phone call of Nixon calling his tailor and telling him to make the crotch a bit looser for his DCK. In the mating of banana slugs, the penis is inserted into the body of the partner. The penis may become trapped, perhaps because of the action of a special muscle, in which case the penis is gnawed off by either the partner or the owner. When women get aroused, their vagina gets deeper, just as the penis gets longer, bigger. Gorillas' genitalia are tiny compared to them. Male bees, in case anyone was wondering, have a modified stinger for a penis. It has parts that cling to the queen during mating and it pops off audibly when they mate. She mates with around 15 drones in a single flight, so the next male has to rip out the last penis with his mandibles before he can have a go. The queen mates once in her life. Yes, the males die after having sex once. They bleed out. Side note: we can artificially inseminate queens, but to do so we need to harvest drone semen. To do so we squeeze their bodies until the pressure inflates their penis, then we take an eyedropper over the tip and squeeze harder, forcing the semen out. Most step siblings on pornographic videos are not actually step siblings. A lioness will bite the testicles of her mating partner when she is in heat if he can't keep up with her. Edit. Holy crap. Thanks for the silver. May your testicles remain intact. Kind stranger. Use them or lose them, Simba. A prisoner with a passion for necrophilia blogged that shoving a hair straightener up the holes for 7 minutes warms them up to perfection. Had to vomit after reading that. Ciabatta was invented in 1982. Wait. How is this a NSFW fact? On second thought, don't answer me. I would like to keep enjoying my ciabattas. Dolphins use puffer fish to get high. And they also are pay people. The pH of a healthy human vagina is between 3.8 and 4.5, making it acidic and giving it that tangy taste we all love. Not many Redditors get the chance to love it. I'm eating right now. Why in the hell did I think it would be a good idea to read these comments? Reverse cowgirl is actually more dangerous than cowgirl. Mostly due to the shape of the DCK and the shape of the vagina. Natural curve of each actually goes against one another during reverse cowgirl. Combine that with someone throwing their entire body weight down on your DCK and you are playing with fire. Echidnas have a 4-tip penis for some reason. Doggy style gives you the biggest risk of penile fracture. Would suggest partner riding on top is more dangerous as you have no control of the weight coming down. There's a condition called penis captivus, which is when the vaginal muscles contract so tightly that the male can't remove his penis. Octopus will sometimes snap its DCK off and hand it the female for her to literally duck herself. Pigs have a corkscrew-shaped penis. Since Mirko, the rabbit hero in MHA, is a rabbit, that means she is always in heat. And has to come once before she goes out to save people and once after she saves people. And I'm not watching that anymore. Redditors have a genuine fascination over raccoons and anuses. I read this thread entirely too long. Canadian soldiers during World War I had the highest cases of venereal diseases out of all the allies. This was due to the fact they had higher pay and couldn't go home on leave like others could. Edit. And a follow-up fact. If anyone is interested. Though it was the 1910s. Canada still held on to very Victorian ideologies. This meant that the men who were coming home with VDs were seen as less than and at times not even considered heroes like their Rusiclian counterparts. I know this from experience, but a lady's discharge bleaches her underwear and can even make holes in it. Adele penguins are one of the only species that engage in prostitution. Rumor has it they like rolling in the deep snow. Whales have the largest penises. In 1942, the electrician's handbook suggested sticking 2 fingers in someone's ass to revive them if they get shocked and stop breathing. Egyptian women used to pack their vaginas with crocodile tea as a contraceptive. It'd work on me. I ain't ducking no hole filled with croc tea. IDK if this is NSFW, but it's on the line. Especially as if I brought this up at work I'd get some strange looks. Male humans have two kinds of sperm. One which tries to reach the egg and others which are designed to attack other males' sperm. It was found when after looking at semen under microscopes and seeing this what were presumed to be lazy or dead sperm suddenly came to life when different men's spunk was mixed together. These dormant sperm began to react. It's connected to the idea that humans evolved to be in polygamous relationships where the tribe raised the child, not individual parents. The amount of alcohol required to make my wife bestial is 4 Long Island iced tea. Sucking your own DCK feels like you're sucking someone else's DCK and not having your DCK sucked. Ben Franklin liked older women. And I don't mean MILFs. Adolf Hitler had a poop sex kink. According to his personal journal edit. Napoleon Bonaparte might be buried in Paris but his penis is in New Jersey. When someone says that's the spot, it means to continue doing exactly what you're doing. Not speed up, change rhythm, go harder, etc.